Are you tired of seeing your clothing store stagnate while your competitors seem to be thriving? It's time to take a page out of Michael Jordan's book and focus on mastering the fundamentals of growing successful business. Forget about the quick fixes like running Facebook ads or relying on user-generated content. In this video, I'll show you the 5 key areas you need to focus on to take your clothing store from good to great and build a brand that stands the test of time, all while growing sustainably and profitably. Number 5, website. No matter how good your ads are, without a site that shows confidence, you'll fail to grow. I'm going to pull up a site here, or at least pull it up onto the screen and show you that a site that does not have good content or does not have the information needed will not generate the sale. So if you take a really good ad, which we'll talk about here in a little bit, and then you try to send that ad person to the site, but it doesn't have the information or the confidence or anything to get that person to convert, they are not going to take action. Now, that being said, an offer will fix all of these things. Again, we'll talk about that a little bit later, but a general rule of thumb is that if your ads are not working, it's likely because your website is not set up for success. We go to sites all the time where they have this cool banner, they have this cool hero image, but then there's literally no text. There's a disconnect between where you're sending somebody from an ad to that website, and nobody has a clue what you're doing. They're selling everything, and then there's nothing that actually talks about a very clear message or specific information to build trust with the brand. People aren't buying because they don't feel like they can actually trust who they're about to purchase from. I don't know if it's going to take 10 days or 10 weeks or if I'll ever receive the product. So number 1, you've got to focus on the website. Number 4 is the traffic. Without traffic, it doesn't matter how good your website is because you have to send traffic there to be able to generate sales. So Facebook and Instagram is a place to start, and they are great tools, but it is what kind of content you create that matters the most. And when I say create the content, this doesn't have to be anything crazy like you've seen on TikTok or user-generated content. It can be a single image, but the image needs to compel enough interest to get somebody to stop the scroll and say, I'm interested in this product. This is why DPA or display product ads actually work, is because it's a clear product on a white background, something like this water bottle, but they are like, oh, that's compelling enough, that's interesting enough, I'm going to stop the scroll and I will go to the site. So you can set up a DPA, you can have a flat lay, those actually convert really well too. You can do a talking head, you can do a side-by-side where it's literally somebody talking about a product and then the flat lay. You could do a combination of both of those, but my point is you have to be able to drive traffic, you have to be able to set up Facebook ads, and we'll talk a little bit more about the Facebook ad side of things later, but you have to be able to drive that traffic. So step number 1, have a high converted site. Step number 2, drive traffic to that site. Howdy, for those who do not know me, I'm Aaron, and alongside my business partner Christian, we own Bit Branding, an e-commerce marketing agency that specializes in helping clothing stores just like you grow and scale profitably online. We drop new content for you multiple times throughout the week, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. So number 3 is profit. The most overlooked and undervalued part of business is email and SMS. I do not care how much you make. You shouldn't care how much you make. It's about what you do with that money and how much is left at the end. Because if you make $1 million, but you spend 1.1 million, you do not really have a business. I mean, you do, right? You have a top line revenue business, but you don't have any actual profit. Email and SMS is what will allow you to grow and scale. It allows you to invest more in advertising to acquire new customers. It gives you the level that you need to be able to go and take more advantage of the marketplace. So email and SMS, we really suggest if you have about, I would say 1,000 people on your email list, make sure that it's segmented based off of engaged and be sending 2 to 3 emails throughout that week. I would send 1 SMS. We've actually been testing 2 SMSs without getting a little crazy here, and we've seen some better results. So if you have a couple thousand people on your SMS list, check out sending 2 SMSs throughout the week. But email and SMS will help grow your business. It adds profit, and it's pennies, if not even pennies at that point, to reach your audience, to get them to come to the site and make a purchase. Of this, that nurturing of the relationship. One mistake that people make though is that they don't have a pop-up set on their site. So again, going back to number 1, which is that site. If we do not have a high converting site and a high converting pop-up, it's going to be harder for us to have more profit. So we have to have a high converting site, drive traffic to the site. We know that not everybody's going to purchase. Anywhere between 1 to 4 or 5% of people are going to purchase, but then we can get another 5% of people over here on this side who are going to give us their email and SMS. We're going to nurture those relationships by sending out emails and SMS multiple times throughout the week to drive traffic back to the site for free, or basically free, to get those people to convert. And guess what? After they've been to your site, after they've checked everything out, after you've sent them emails to show that you're a real person to build that trust, they are going to purchase over here on this website more often. So please make sure that you're sending out email and SMS. And number 2 is customer experience. This piece is so crucial, and yet most people overlook it because they want to take shortcuts. They believe that the customers will come back if the product is great. That's not the case. I actually bought a shirt. It was a really awesome product. It was a one-of-a-kind type of shirt. I think, the guy drew it up the night of the Super Bowl, and he just released it, or he at least had it was ready or whatever. But it was the night of the Super Bowl. The Chiefs won the Super Bowl, and I was like scouring the internet, found an amazing product. I didn't even care about the price or anything. It was just like, I want this shirt because it's so unique. Bought that shirt, and then I just never got an update, never got information about shipping, and then finally had to message him on Instagram and say, hey, where's my shirt? Where is this product at? And then they finally told me, let me go look this up for you. They look it up and they're like, oh yeah, it's actually going to be delivered tomorrow. I'm like, wait, so for 10 days I've been waiting, and I could have been tracking this package. So it was too much, or too little too late at that point, rather, where the customer service was just never there. They were just like, well, you bought the shirt, and now instead of buying other ones because I've seen other cool shirts, I'm like, no, I had a bad experience here, I'm not going to buy. And if anybody asks, I'll tell them, yeah, the shirt's great, because I get compliments on the shirt, other Chiefs fan anyway. But I tell them, yeah, it's a great shirt, but probably try to go find it if somebody else can create it, or go find somewhere else, because you do not want to wait this long, and the customer service is horrible. I don't even know if you're going to get that shirt. So not only did I not go back and purchase, but I also have told other people not to go buy from them as well. So think about that, because you do not know when somebody has a bad experience with you. Most of the time, people are quiet. There's like 10% of people, 5% of people who are extremely loud when they have a bad experience. But the other 70% of people, 80, 90% of the people who had a bad experience, they're just not telling anybody. They may tell other people they had a bad experience, but they're just not going to tell you. They'll just never come back and shop again. So think about that when you're trying to take care of your customers, because that customer experience, that shipping, the packaging, the customer service, all of those play a factor on trust and whether or not they're going to give you a shot to make a second purchase. And I'll tell you right now, if you don't get a customer to purchase from me 3 times and you don't do that consistently, you do not have a business, right? You have a transactional relationship you made a little bit of money on, but you do not have a business. All right, before we get to number 1, I want to let you know that you can schedule a free 45-minute personalized strategy session. If you're a store trying to make your first $10,000 a month or $1 million a month, we can help. Click the link in the description down below to find out more information. We can jump on a call and chat about it. Number 1, organic marketing. This is your playground. It's broken down into 3 areas, so let's cover them really quickly. Number 1, SEO, so search engine optimization. This is an area that most clothing stores do not take advantage of, except for the big guys. They know, but it takes a lot of work, and most people don't want to put in the work. But again, this is a video about how to dominate the clothing store space. This is how do you actually grow an actual business. So you have to do the SEO piece. Even if it's as little as creating blog posts, or even if it's as little as making sure that your product description match what's actually shown in the product page. Those are small things, but then there's bigger things, linking to other sites. The SEO piece is one where most people neglect. The second one, UGC, so user-generated content. Get other people to build trust into your brand and show others, and then those people will tell more people. It's literally a compounding effect of your content from other people is going to have a bigger effect and reach more people because there's trust to that. If you found one overlying or overarching theme in this video is that to build a brand over time, it's about trust. I know that, for example, if I buy a pair of Nikes, if I have an issue, I can go to the store and they'll take care of me. I also know that if I order a pair of Nikes, then I'm gonna get a high quality product with maybe a cool box in the mail. And those are things that I've expected and things that I've done over and over again. So I have trust in the brand. You have to build trust. You don't have the Nikes of the world right now. You do not have that big of a brand. So you have to make sure that you have all these other things buttoned up really tightly to build the trust. The third piece, your actual playground, is your branded content. If you watched our ChatGPT video on how to grow a clothing store, you can literally go over to ChatGPT and come up with content ideas to use as your playground. Organic content is your playground. I don't care how organic does. It's going to drive some sales. It's going to build brand over time. But figure out, play around with what's working and not working. And then the things that do, run them and go back to step number 2 into ads and start driving more traffic with those. If you can make organic marketing work, you can make paid advertising work. The only difference is that one of them you're spending dollars behind. That's it. So use organic content and pump out as much volume as you can. This really is a play of how much content can you put out, because those who can put out more content will almost ultimately win, because they'll figure out a way to iterate and get better over time. So if you want a step-by-step advertising strategy, check out this video right here next. Y'all have a great rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one. And PS, make sure that you hit that subscribe button.